get it rolling.
Good morning, grappling fans. Welcome back to another episode of Who's Number One. Landmark episode number 10. Well done, gentlemen. On my right here, we have Michael Sears, the brainchild behind all this madness here. Calling in from the snowy north, Ricardo Amendolia. And in the back, we have the stats machine, Ryan Smith. Good morning, everyone. What's the word? What's going on today?
Nothing much. Sorry, a little late, guys. They had Ben Askren over on FRL for the first time this week, and they got a little excited and ran over their time limit. But all right, so we got a lot coming up. Things about to get crazy for January. A lot of events this month. What do you want to get to first?
Well, I think we should definitely jump right back into Who's Number One, remind people of the main events. We announced them last week, but it's important to keep plugging away, getting that hype there because, man, I am so excited. It's our first show. You know, we really have been putting in the hours there, putting this thing together. It's going to be in Costa Mesa, California. You can attend it live. Tickets are available at FloGrappling Tix, that's Tix.com. And Michael, tell us a little about Who's Number One and who we're going to see there.
Yeah, it's sort of an idea we stole from Flow Wrestling where they have the best high schoolers wrestle each other. We're having the best color belts go against each other, but we added a couple. We have like 12 or 13 color belt fights with people top in the rankings, but we have a couple really big main events that we're excited for. First off, we got Nicholas Marigali versus Victor Hugo. Nicholas, obviously black belt world champ 2 times. 79% submission rate in his career, total monster. Going up against Victor Hugo, who did a double grand slam at brown belt last year. Won in his weight in the open class at every major Ibjjf, and submitted Cyborg recently in Nogi Worlds. Second fight is going to be Kina Cornelius versus Roberto Jimenez. I think it'll be Roberto's black belt debut most likely, and it's a tough test for him going up against Kina.
Yeah, those are a couple gangbuster matches. Ricardo, give me your thoughts on Who's Number One and those main events there that we were just talking about.
Yeah, I think that first off, hello guys.
Good morning. Yeah, I'm throwing you right into the hot seat. Now, you've done this to me before.
Coming to you live from Ontario, Canada.
Yeah, you guys, you're spinning it a little. Okay, all right. I can
I'm
handle.
on the attack this morning, Ricardo. Be ready.
It's all good. It's all good. So, anyways, Who's Number One? Great concept. Works in wrestling, apparently. I'll admit that I haven't really watched it live, but when I see the highlights, I was like, oh, man, what is this cool wrestling event? I had no idea what it was, and it turns out it was just high school wrestlers and collegiate wrestlers and all that. So, really cool concept. We're going to be displaying some of the top blue, purple, and brown belts across pretty much across the globe. And then the main events, I think these are two of the greatest super fights we can, kick the year off with. Marigali, we got Keenan, we got Victor, we got Roberto, 4 of the hottest names in the sport right now. How could this go wrong? It's going to be fireworks. Can't wait to be there. It's only a stone throws away from AOJ and Costa area, so hopefully I get to maybe get a day to go out and train a little bit with y'all, get my revenge on the muskrat over there with my Berimbolo attacks. But hopefully it's going to be
spicy.
I'm calling you out. We're going to fix your game, Mr. Muskrat Chase Smith.
Hey, many have tried. Few have succeeded. I still am terrible. So actually, it's just 1 month away from today. It's February 8th. Yeah. Today is January 8th. So, of course, we'll be keeping you guys updated on any card changes, updates, and such on the website and social media. And, anything else you want to add there before we move on?
Yeah, speaking of AOJ, I got some studs coming from there. We got a whole bunch of their youngsters. Got Jessica Khan, Koabate, Tennant. We got some bunch of guys coming up from Dream Art, some really good color belts. If you're going to be in town for Kids Pan, it's a good time to check it out. It's the same weekend. And, yeah, when we made these super fights, the 4 guys in the main event, they go for the submission. These are all guys who are finishers. These guys are all guys that have exciting fights. As we look at Roberto, either he loses or he taps somebody. Nicholas, like we said, 79% submissions. Victor Hugo's tapped so many people last year and already at black belt a lot. And then Keenan gets a lot of subs too. So I think it's guaranteed to be exciting fights. Come on, check it out. Fight to Win's going to be doing the production. It's going to be a good show. It's going to be a good time.
Absolutely cannot wait. And on other event news, We're very happy to say that KASAI will be continuing to be on the FloGrappling platform. Their first event of 2020 goes down less than a month away, actually, February 1st, and that is a stacked lineup. We have names like Cyborg is in, Vinny Magalhaes, Bruno Bastos, Nicky Rod is back, and Joao Gabriel Rocha. And actually, Ryan and I are going up to Dallas next week to film with Joao Gabriel and Formiga. That should be a good time. But KASAI is always a great time. You've been to a KASAI show, right, Michael?
No, I haven't worked any KASAI yet.
You've never been to a KASAI in person yet? Man, it's an experience. Ricardo, I know you've been out to a few. What can fans expect from KASAI coming to Dallas in a few weeks here?
Yeah, KASAI is, first off, the updates, you guys mentioned it. Don't forget we have Hulk, who's going to be replacing Kynan, I believe, to be officially confirmed soon. And I believe Renato and Dante are fighting in a rematch, one of the most exciting matches of last year. But KASAI is awesome. I love the rule set. Incorporates, points for submission attacks as well as the contemporary rules, but also allows the heel hooks. Creates a lot more scrambles. So we kind of see the best of everything in the event. It's got that really cool vibe to it. Love KASAI. Can't wait to see it go down. We got some killers in there. Cyborg, Nicky Rod, potential rematch there. And Chase, I want to hear you pronounce Vinny Magalhaes' last name.
I'm going to pass on that. I think I managed to slide that by.
I used to live on a street with that name in Rio. My wife ridicules me for not being able to say that word. I can't say it.
Magalhaes, is that how you say it, Ricardo?
Yeah, that's how we think it's said. But then there's a little roll to the tongue that's in there that's impossible for gringos to do. We got Mega Gaudio in there. We got super heavyweight Patrick Gaudio. This guy is super heavy for Euros. He's a monster now. I really like a Nicky Rod Cyborg rematch. That they want to run that one back.
Yeah.
JGR. I mean, this is a guy who had to sit out of ADCC.
Kind of a heartbreaking end of the year for him to get sit out of Worlds as well.
Yeah, I mean, he's a guy who could take this thing. Vinny's always getting the subs. That's a great bracket.
Now, let me put this to you guys.
Hold on a sec.
Okay.
We got two nicknames that just emerged in 2020, JJR and Mega Gaudio. Thank you very much, Michael Sears.
JJR,
That's
awesome.
Yeah, Mega Gaudio. He is Mega Gaudio. This guy was medium heavyweight like a couple years ago.
Threw a couple C's on the end of that.
He missed weight at 94 kilograms at the Rio Grande Slam.
Now, if we were to design the groups ourselves, would you put Nicky Rod and Cyborg in the same group to guarantee that they met, or would you see if they would meet in the final?
Yeah,
I kind of want to see that match, so I'm just maybe putting the vibe out. What's the word? The abundance theory. If I ask for it, it'll come to me. Maybe it will come to KASAI. Maybe we'll see Cyborg and Nicky Rod.
We got Nicky Rod on Fight to Win this month too.
That's right.
Victor Hugo. He's fighting Victor Hugo on
is that 135?
Yeah, 135.
135, yes.
This weekend, Benson Henderson, exciting one. Benson Henderson Nogi match with Marcio Andre. It's a clash of styles. Got an MMA, UFC world champ versus an Ibjjf Nogi world champ in Marcio Andre. That should be an exciting one. Also, Antunes versus the Honey Badger. Got a little Honey Badger action going down this weekend.
It's a gi match, 125-pound. The title is on the line there.
Oh, that's gi. Okay, interesting.
We also have Jake Watson, who I think is on every Fight to Win for the next 6 months. That dude just doesn't stop competing. He's taking on Arnaldo Maidana. It's a tough match, 200 pounds gi.
Yeah.
But as always, Fight to Win is keeping that thing cranking. They are going every single weekend from here on out to the end of days, and we'll keep you updated on all the fun cards. But yeah, 134 is the next event in Scottsdale, Arizona. If you've never been to a Fight to Win, by the way, it really is the biggest party in grappling. It is fun. You want to take people that don't even train to that and expose them to kind of what high intensity, high action jiu-jitsu can be. It's a great time. So shout out to Seth for always putting together a fun affair there and keeping people interested in professional jiu-jitsu. With that, I guess there's a little bit of current news here. We could talk about there's a major rules change for the AJP Tour just announced recently. They ran it for the first time in Rio for, I believe, just the King of Mats event, but they've extended it now to the Grand Slam events. And the big change I'm referring to is there are no more penalties or advantages. They are instead counted as points. Now, Ricardo, can you maybe take us through some of the finer details of what I'm talking about here?
Yeah, so we saw the rule change come out yesterday, I believe, and everyone was kind of talking about it on social media. I reached out to Rodrigo Valerio from the AJP Tour to kind of clarify, and basically, this was an initiative from the chairman of the UAE JGF, the chairman Abdul Manan. Sorry if I mispronounced the name, but he's one of the guys that oversees the UAE JGF and AJP Tour as well as the other federations from Abu Dhabi. And the whole idea of the rule change is to force the action and promote professionalism. Of course, the World Pro and the AJP Tour are professional events. So with these rule changes, like any rule change in any sport, there's always going to be some backlash and criticism.
Before we get ahead of ourselves there, Ricardo, what are the rule changes? Because we haven't really described them too clearly yet.
Okay, my bad. So first of all, no more advantages. There'll just be 1 point. Now, the referee will still do that, karate chop action, advantage signal, but the scoreboard will just treat it as 1 point. The idea was to not confuse some of the spectators, but also promote more action. What I was told was at the Rio Grand Slam, it definitely did that. It promoted a lot more action. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. Another thing is they're trying, the basic concept of this is to take away the referee's decision. So at the ending of regulation time, which has been reduced to 5 minutes, something that Bear from Shoy Roll's been promoting for a while. I guess he's got some influence in Abu Dhabi. But anyways, they pushed it to 5 minutes. And at the end of the 5 minutes, if it's a draw, it goes to golden score. Now, if the golden score, which will be 1 minute, if nobody scores there, whoever scored last in the match gets the win. So there'll be no more, opinionated decisions. There'll be no more controversies. It's just you go there, and if you fight and you score, you win.
Is it correct that also a penalty point is no longer a negative point for yourself, but it is a positive point for your opponent? Is that how that works as well?
Correct.
To me, that's the biggest change, actually.
Yeah.
That really changes the game.
I like that. I'm a big fan of I didn't realize that there was last score criteria, which I'm a huge supporter of last score criteria. We put that in it for who's number one. We're going Ibjjf rules with last score criteria. It's used in freestyle wrestling, and it makes the match really exciting because somebody's always losing. With last score criteria, there's no such thing as a time match. Somebody's always down. Somebody's always got to push the pace, and that makes that last minute exciting. I just wish everybody would come together. We need less rules. It's too hard for the sport to grow, and every organization is different. Maybe one day we'll see where we get to a place like wrestling or MMA where everybody's got the same rules, but it makes it really hard to judge things when everybody's doing something different. I would like to see. I really like the points for submission attempts. I don't know about like do you get a point for coming up on a double guard pull? Is that how that works? I guess maybe that's all right to avoid the guard pull.
That was an advantage. Yeah,
like a point for a near sweep seems a little weird to get half as much for just like sitting up as actually like fighting for a single leg and finishing the sweeper takedown.
But think about this though. If you got a point for coming up off a double guard pull, you're going to be coming up way quicker.
Yeah,
we're going to see less DQs.
Yeah,
theoretically.
I like that. If it gets rid of the double guard pull, double guard pull penalty situation is one of the worst things in jiu-jitsu. Everyone can agree on that.
I think the thing is, like I was saying earlier, anytime that you want to professionalize or make something mainstream, you got to make some changes. The AJP Tour, the UAE JGF, is all about professional jiu-jitsu, and this is just one of those things. Like, I don't know, like is it so bad to see that they're going to be awarding points? Like, I mean, one of the theories that they were saying was, look at a match where a guy gets like 11 advantages, the other guy gets one sweep and stalls out with his 2-point lead. Did he really win? You know what I mean? Like, what if the other guy tried to submit him? So I kind of get it. I like change in the sport. I like seeing it. Do I think it's the best? It remains to be seen. I want to see it go down and see how it plays out before I really criticize it. But this is a necessity in any sport to evolve. There's got to be change.
There's going to be some situations like if I get 5 advantages, should that like outscore like me taking the back or getting the mount? I don't know about that, but I'm sure they'll tweak it and figure something out. I'd like to see this rule set with with just having the point advantages for submission attempts. That's what I'd like to see. That'd be cool. Really get them to push the submission attempts.
Man, the 5-minute match thing is also pretty insane. That's a really short match, and when half these guys are splitting their schedule between the Ibjjf and AJP, I mean, those are radically different times. We're talking 10 or
half
5
as much,
minutes.
Yeah.
And so that really, to me, changes the strategy you would have to employ.
So there's a reason for that. So what happened was, what I was told was at the Rio Grand Slam, they implemented the new scoring, but they didn't change the rules. And what they found was, by the time the guys were getting to the finals, they were dead. So they decreased the time because the point system now, it promotes activity. And what I understand, what a lot of the referees and coaches, they saw a lot more active matches, a lot more people actually fighting, as opposed to just like scoring and stalling out. So it promotes activity. And as a result, these guys are getting tired fighting for 8 minutes or 6 minutes or whatever it was. So they reduced it by 1 minute. Now it's 5-minute matches until the finals. The finals will be 8-minute matches, which is interesting.
All right.
What's wrestling, Michael? Is it 3-minute rounds?
It depends. I think freestyle right now is 3 and 3, 2 3-minute rounds. It's college is shorter, but we'll see. Maybe. I mean, I guess they got the AJP. They'll be using it for the Queen of Match next week. We'll see how it goes. And I like the idea of last score criteria. They got an overtime going. I like the idea of getting away from refs' decisions because you just see. I've never seen a ref's decision where somebody didn't get screwed over, right? Somebody always gets screwed over in every ref's decision. So it's it'd be interesting to see. Yeah.
I think that's probably enough discussion there on AJP. We're really excited that I always see the sport changing and evolving. It keeps it interesting, keeps it fresh. But on to the 2020 gi season then. Just 2 weeks away, less than 2 weeks away, we'll see the kickoff of the Ibjjf 2020 European Championships. We'll all be out there in Lisbon, Portugal. One of my favorite tournaments of the year. So much fun. There's always some kind of new emerging storyline that no one can predict that happens. Last year we saw Levi Jones-Leary kind of take the world by storm, winning Europeans, beating Lucas Lepri. But there's always something in the mix. This year, all eyes, I think, are on the Roosterweight division with names like Bruno Maffasini, Mikey Musumeci, and Taliesin Soares in there, among many others. There's all ranked guys, right? It's pretty crazy.
Right now at Roosterweight, there's 9 guys registered. When I checked this morning, all 9 of them are ranked to the top 20. 7 of them are ranked to the top 10. I'm thinking with the way seeding works, Taliesin doesn't have those Grand Slam points. I think he's going to get either Bruno or Mikey in the quarters. I think we're going to see an early matchup there between. It's going to be good. Roosterweight's better than ever in my opinion.
Yeah, and the event in general is really filling out. I believe is tomorrow the last day to register. I think that might be the case. Correct me.
Friday. I think Friday.
Maybe it's Friday. But we have names like Johnny Grippo is in. Isaac Doderlein. The Vikings just signed up. That's Tommy Langacker and Espen Mathiasen. Keenan will be there. It is a stacked event.
It's actually Saturday. They can register until Saturday.
They can register until Saturday.
Yeah, but it's at like 88% or something. It'll probably sell out before that.
We got Jackson Souza in the mix. But anyway, stay tuned for full division breakdowns coming very soon. As soon as those divisions close up, we'll be giving you guys all the analysis and in-depth previews for that tournament. We're chomping at the bit to do that. But in general, we can definitely talk about the state of the union, state of affairs, and give us an overview of the season as a whole. Michael, you've been doing the previews for us the last couple of weeks here, really knocking those out. Let's continue on down that road. We left off at middleweight last week. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's right. Middleweight's probably the deepest division this year. If you guys want to check out the actual written previews, if you're one of those jiu-jitsu fans who knows how to read and appreciates that type of thing, I've written like 20,000 words on division previews for this season. But middleweight, it's crazy. If you look at the top, man, you got Iago de Souza 16, Dante Leon 17 ranked at this weight. That's how deep this weight is. Something to consider going into it. Before we get going, Jonatas Gracie, who's ranked at middle, is signed up at light right now for Euros. So he might be a lightweight. We'll see if he makes that weight. He's been a lot bigger than that for the last couple of years. And Vitor Oliveira is also signed up at light for Euros. So there's a couple guys.
He just bounces all over the place. Vitor Oliveira has fought like at middle heavy.
Yeah, one year he took third at Worlds at lightweight and then did Master Worlds at medium heavy a couple months later. So, yeah, he's all over. But those two are going to be a force at lightweight if they stay down there, if they can make the weight. But let's just look at some of these names at the top of middleweight. Gabriel Arages, Izaki Bayen's the last two world champs. Hibamar just beat Izaki not too long ago. Marcos Tinoco's on the podium at Worlds every year. Jaime Canuto also on the podium at Worlds every year. You got Ronaldo Jr. It's really going to be a force there. He's at Euros.
When I was reading this article, this division is crazy stacked when Ronaldo doesn't even have a picture in there.
Yeah.
That's how crazy this division is.
Ronaldo's a beast, man. Otavio Souza, Mauricio Oliveira, somebody you can't count. Michael Liera, Gutierrez Barboza, who I think will be middle for Euros, probably drop down later on. JT's in there. JT told me he doesn't know yet, lightweight or middleweight. He did middleweight last year. But whichever way he goes, he's a force. Tommy Langacker, the Viking. Claudio Calasanz. This weight is crazy, man. I'm really looking forward to it. I think. What do you think about Ronaldo as a first-year black belt? Ricardo, what do you think there?
I think he can be the disruptor in that entire division. He can take out pretty much anyone there. You know, he has a good chance of. His pace is insane. He's just got such an amazing game. So, I mean, it'll be interesting to see him at first-year black belt against that division, but don't count him out. Like, that's the thing, guys. There's just too many guys in this division to say there's no real favorite. But I will say, Gabriel Arden, right? In my opinion, is he fighting Europeans?
He's not in for Euros yet. We'll see. But.
Okay, but I think that Gabriel is going to come this year and really, really, I think that he lost at ADCC. I have a feeling that this is going to be Gabriel's year. He's going to come back and really show everyone, what he's made of. But there's just so many good guys. It's really hard to pinpoint one guy. But I think Gabriel is going to kind of put the emphasis and do all the things he needs to get done to make it his year again.
Yeah, I mean, he won it last year. He beat Izaki in the final at Worlds. I think the story sort of here is there's a lot of high-paced guys. You got Tommy Espin's actually coming up there too. You got Ronaldo, Mauricio. I think sort of the story. Argis and Izaki are such great tacticians. They beat people strategically. Like they slow these guys down. These Dantes, these Tommies, these guys, and they're really good at fighting their way through an IBJJF tournament. Can somebody put it together and take one of those guys out? It'll be interesting to see. I mean,
Argis is the only guy, by the way, who beat Isaac, I think, all season last year.
Yeah, Zach,
and had 2 wins. He beat him at King of Mats in January, and then again at Worlds.
Zaki won Pans and won Euros at this weight. Brasileiro champ was Otavio Souza, beat Claudio Calasanz in the final. You got some really good young guys coming in. Ronaldo could do some waves. It's technically Mauricio Oliveira's second year, but Mauricio won Worlds at blue, purple, brown, took a year off. He beat Levi already at black belt. He could do some damage. Hibamar. I think this might be a year that we see Hibamar in the gi take a Grand Slam title in the IBJJF potentially. He's doing Euros at medium heavy. He's told me he's dropping back down the middle after. Hibamar he beat Ronaldo at the Grand Slam. He beat Izaki. I think he beat Tinoco too. He beat a lot of good people there. But yeah, it's got to be Gabriel's. Right now, you got to be looking at is Gabriel's the guy, right? Right below him is Izaki. Won it 2 years ago. Won everything besides. I mean, Izaki. What he lost that match. Right near the end.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah,
like an advantage.
At the end, I believe.
Correct.
He's right there with them. So you got to be. That's your top tier, in my opinion. Gabriel and Izaki.
We're seeing them go to battle right here. This is the world's final. There's a few minutes left, and they were really stuck in this position, which both guys excel at.
Yeah, they're 50-50 guys, both of them. That's how they beat these guys. They slow down these athletes with their 50-50 game. I mean, it's not like they don't go for subs. Gabriel subs a lot of people. They're not just like 50-50 stall guys. Gabriel subs a lot of people. We saw Izaki Toho Jaime Canuto in the semis this year.
Oh, yeah, it's a brutal finish.
But you're right there. I think your top tier is Gabriel and Izaki. Those are the prime guys at this weight right now. I mean, they won the last 2 Worlds.
I'm going to say top tier are those two, but top 2 disruptors for the division is Tommy and Ronaldo Jr.
Yeah, I agree.
Tommy can submit anyone at any point. He's just because he's got that style. He just goes for it. He's not a points player. I mean, he can do it, but he's so loose and open, and he just keeps getting more confident as he gets older. And a guy like Ronaldo, people are not really going to be used to his game and his pace. So I could see those two, really, really disrupting the division this year.
And then under them, you got some vets, man, who are just like Jaime Canuto. Okay, you got Hibamar right there ready to break through. He's beaten a lot of good people. He just hasn't he hasn't won a big tournament in the gi yet, really. He won no gi worlds recently, but you got Jaime Canuto and Tinoco. Can they get it done? They've made the semifinals, I think, both 3 years in a row at Worlds. So they're consistent. They're right up there. Otavio Souza still won Brasileiro this year. I mean, you can't count Otavio out. If JT is there, JT is a force. JT, jumped into things late last season and had a bad seed and fought Izaki in the quarterfinals, remember? But if JT's and Tommy, what, a couple years ago got the basically submission DQ over Argis.
Took silver to Isaac. They battled a couple times.
Tapped Tinoco in that same bracket. Yep.
Yeah, middleweight is a crazy stacked division, always is, and I love all the different storylines from established vets like Gabriel and the up and coming guys.
Yeah,
it's gonna be a great time.
We're gonna get a good preview of a little bit of some stuff at Euros where we have Ronaldo in there, and then both of the Vikings, Espen and Tommy. Espen's at middleweight now. He's obviously a world bronze medalist at lightweight. He's going up to middleweight for this year, so we're gonna have to see. Ronaldo's gonna have to beat both of those guys to win the tournament. So
very cool.
Be pretty interesting. I mean, those are three guys that do not have boring matches.
No, that's the greatest thing. Ronaldo is so fun to watch, and so
Ronaldo's gonna be running wild on him. And can they take us back?
Can
basically
they get the back?
Two times in a row, and their back takes are so slick, man. I mean, they're both probably top 5 back takers in the game, so wouldn't count them out.
Hopping over then to the women's middleweight division, you have entitled this, It's All Baby here. It's Baby, that's Ana Carolina Vieira's division. She's won that 3 years in a row. Do you see things changing this year? What's the status, Michael?
No, she said she's coming back. She's won it 3 years in a row, and she hasn't just been winning it, she's been winning it easily. She's been just stomping everybody. Nobody's really been close with her in this division. It sort of feels like she's cleared it out. I mean, Laura Halleck took second to her at Pans and Worlds this year. But we're going to have some new blood in this division this year. We have some really good first-year black belts in there. You got Tamara Ferreira. What do you call her, Ricardo?
Queen of the armbar. Queen of the armbar, whatever you want to say. Yeah.
Tamara's really good. You got Julia Boscher, too, who's sort of Tamara's rival at the brown belt level. And both of them in there are going to make this division more exciting because it sort of feels like the last couple of years, like people have cleared out there because they know Ana Carolina is unstoppable. But now you're going to have more people in there. It should be more exciting. You get some good girls in there. You got Nata Marino, Jessica Swanson, Kel Canuto, Sam Cook, Laura Halleck. I mean, you can't underestimate her. She took second at Pans and Worlds. She's obviously has a lot to make up to catch up with Baby there. But, yeah, I mean, it's Ana Carolina's division, no question. And we'll see if one of these newcomers can shake things up.
Well said. It's hard to argue against a three-peat champion to doubt them in the future there. Moving on then to the men's medium heavyweight division. A question mark remains. Will Felipe Payne return to medium heavy? What's everyone's thoughts on that?
He told me no. He told me he's going up.
Go.
Yeah, he said he's going up. I think we'll see him at heavyweight, but he said potentially super heavyweight. Which is interesting.
That's a big Felipe Payne.
He's lifting some weight. Yeah, he's taking some creatine or something. But I think we'll probably see him at heavyweight, which will make that division even crazier. But it really opens things up here. Who else do you got near the top of the rankings at medium heavy right now?
It's a bit of an Atos logjam there. We saw Gustavo Batista and Lucas Hulk Barbosa. They closed out a few events last year, if I remember correctly.
Well, they closed out Worlds 2 years ago in this weight.
Right.
When Payne won heavyweight. At Worlds in 2019. Bergini took second to Pena. Hulk went out early. Who knocked out Hulk? Mateus?
Mateus Denise did.
Mateus Denise knocked him out.
Finally did it because I think Hulk had a couple wins over him in the past.
Mateus Denise, another vet. That's right. He's just like his teammate Tinoco at middle. Like he's been right there. Taking third, having tough matches with the best guys in the division. Can he get it done this year? And with Pena's up, it might be the time to get it done because he looks sort of unbeatable at this weight. Hudson is another guy. A lot of newcomers here. It's not quite as deep as middleweight, but near the top there's some killers. Like Hulk and Bergini both won open classes in the Ibjjf last year.
Yeah, if there's no Felipe Payne, you have to argue those two guys are the favorites to get to the final together and close out. That just seems like a pretty strong scenario there.
But I mean, Mateus has beat Hulk before. Hudson's beat Bergini before. You can't count out those guys.
Ricardo, we're taking all this madness here.
I think if Pena is out, Hudson, look out for Hudson to really, hit the top of the podium this year in a lot of divisions. I think that Hudson, we talked about Tamara being the queen of the armbar. Hudson's the king of the armbar right now. He's got so many armbar submission wins. It's insane. He beat Gutenberg with an arm lock at Fight to Win, which was crazy. I did not expect that to happen. So I think that he could be a big disruptor in that division. But, guys like Hulk and Braguinha, it's going to be tough. It's going to be, a tough one this year.
Yeah, Hudson with that 50-50 arm lock. That's one of the nominees for the FloGrappling Awards tomorrow, actually, is a brutal arm lock he had on Gutenberg. And he's had so many in his career. He's struggled with Braguinha a little bit in his last couple matches at black belt. But Braguinha is someone that I believe Hudson owned him sort of at the color belts, and then Braguinha sort of turned it around. But Hudson had sort of an off year in his second year at black belt, and I think he was dealing with some injuries. I think maybe this year we might see him turn it around, and from what I've heard, I haven't confirmed with him directly. I think we're going to see him at Euros. He'd be the favorite to win that Euros bracket. It doesn't look like the Atos guys are in there yet either. But, yeah, I think it's coming down to this division, the Atos duo, Hulk and Braguinha, or, who knows, maybe Hulk goes up in weight because he's been pretty big lately, or Hudson or Mateus Diniz.
Absolutely. Got a couple new guys, though, in there. We have Jake Watson, who is a strong competitor. Had some wars with Ronaldo Jr. back at the brown belt level.
Beat Orlando Montero at the Long Beach Open.
Exactly. Jake Watson is definitely a dark horse of the division. Orlando Montero himself, Europeans champ, right there at the top for a few years now. I want to say 3 years, maybe 2 years, at the black belt level. He is someone to keep an eye on. We have other people like DJ Jackson, Mateus Luna.
With DJ, you don't ever know what weight class that guy's going to.
And he's living lean right now. So
he's living in Thailand too, so who knows if he's even going to be in the mix.
But still, a lot of fun scenarios here potentially playing out at medium heavyweight. I'm looking forward to seeing all those guys back in action, especially Mateus Diniz. He's so fun to watch, and he's such an aggressive beast. But let's kick it on over then to the women's middle heavyweight division here. We have a new champ last year, right? Andressa Sintra kind of pulled off the upset there, took the back of Luisa Montero and got the finish, right?
Yeah, sort of came out of, I wouldn't say come out of nowhere, but there was definitely a big upset. Luisa was a two-time world champ going into this match. And for Andressa to get, Ryan, do you have the clip of when Andressa got the back take?
Yeah, it's up.
All right, yeah, there we go. So when Andressa, here we go, she gets to the back. This sort of shocked everybody. And, you got to favor her because she's a returning world champ. But, Luisa's also a two-time world champ. Somebody who's registered in this weight at medium heavy, who just fluctuates all over the place, is Claudia Duval. Claudia Duval could be a force here. But I think it's going to come down. I don't know if Monique Elias competes. You got some good. You got Maggie and Veda, first-year girls. But I think it's coming down to Andressa, Luisa, or Claudia.
Yeah, I think. Sorry, go ahead.
I was just saying we should definitely wait for this clip to play out here before we move on. It's an impressive back take. So go ahead, Ricardo. Keep going.
Well, prior to this match, do you guys know had Luisa and Andressa faced off before?
Off the top of my head, I
don't believe so.
Do not think so.
Okay. So that being said, Luisa has just got so much experience at black belt, training with one of the best teams. Andressa, obviously, she has amazing coaches and team as well. But I'm looking to see Luisa make a big comeback, and she's going to do the right homework to come back and defeat Andressa if they ever compete against each other. And Luisa is she's just so she's so diverse, and something like that, that there was just some mistake that she made that she's going to fix. She's going to do what needs to be done. So I'm looking for Luisa for the big comeback for this year.
Yeah, I think, even though Andressa won it last year, you got to favor, Luisa just won the Queen of Match too, had some big wins there. You got to think you got to favor Luisa going into the year. But I think we're going to have 3 world champs here next year. It should be pretty interesting.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing Maggie Grandotti's impact on the division. She's been a force at brown belt, and I believe she's won every belt level at Worlds consecutively years in a row. So blue, purple, and brown, 3 years running, which is kind of amazing. That's a huge deal, and might get overlooked a little bit, but she's for sure someone that has a strong chance at shaking things up in the division and making her name known. And here's that back take that we've been waiting for here.
Yeah, there she goes. She gets to the back. All right, you ready to move on to the heavyweight division? Men's heavyweight. This might be the division I'm most excited about going into the year. You got Kina Duarte, number 1 pound for pound, in the world. Reigning champ here. He won basically everything except for Brasileiro. Unbelievable. He passed Leandro Lo's guard in the final. I mean, he won the Spider Invitational, won 100K there, won Euros, Pans. Also in there, you got Leandro Lo, 6-time world champ. See if Leandro can turn it back around. A couple big disruptors here. Kina Cornelius. He sat out the weight division at Worlds after hurting his ribs in the Absolute, where he looked good. He beat Marigali, lost the ref's decision low. Also, I think we're going to see Felipe Payne here. Those top 4, there's a lot of other good guys, but Kynan, Lowe, Keenan, Pergisa. That's wild.
That's a wild lineup. Yeah. Absolutely. It's hard to bet against Kynan in this scenario.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not betting against Kynan anymore, but Keenan's beat him a couple times. He's never fought Pergisa.
But when Keenan beat him, they were
teammates.
They were teammates.
Yeah.
Things are different now. I think
Kynan's not the same. Kynan was a brown belt for one of those. Yeah.
Yeah, and when I say that they were teammates, I'm not saying that, it was fixed or anything like that or nothing like that. I just mean it's a little different when you're fighting a teammate, I believe, than when you're fighting somebody that's on, especially in a city rival now. There's a little bit of heat going online these days, but I think that I think it's going to be a different match. I think there's going to be a little bit of a different attitude from both competitors if they face off again. But I think that, it's a question mark. Keenan just opened his new gym. We all saw that. He doesn't have the same amount of high-quality training partners as he did before. So it is a question mark. We don't know how that's going to affect him going into this next season. I mean, he certainly didn't look like he missed a beat at Worlds beating Marigali. He was able to go to Gracie Baja. He was able to train with some new guys. He did what he had to do to get ready. But I guess we'll really understand how good Keenan is truly going to be after Europeans going into the season. And, talking about Lowe, you never know with Lowe. Another rhyme, but I don't know. It's just, I feel like Lowe is the guy you want to root for all the time, but his trajectory is not as constantly climbing as it once was. I feel like he's got to, maybe just break off and, go to a big team like Checkmat. I mean, he's pretty much closing out with Buchecha in every tournament. I think he should just join the team at this point,
Yeah.
That way he can get some really good training partners and extend his training regimen. NS Brotherhood seems to be expanding. So maybe they're going to be more people to step up and take control. And maybe this could be Lowe's year to come back. We'll see. But definitely those top guys in the division, going to be interesting to see. Guys, I apologize. I got to run. I'll see you guys next week. Thank you so much for having me once again. And I'll talk to you next time.
Always good, Ricardo. Talk to you next week, buddy.
Well, Lowe's problem has been obvious. It's been his cardio. He hasn't been able to maintain the same pace. Lowe was always known for that crazy pace, about just spamming those Toriandos for an entire 10-minute match until he got the pass. And you've been seeing him sort of die off in these matches, 6-7 minutes in, and then just play close guard or whatever and not really push the pace like he used to. But, okay.
I mean, it's why fans love him, right? He's known for just laying it all on the mat. Whenever Leandro finishes match, and since I've been covering this with FloGrappling since 2016, it didn't matter if it was round 1 or the semifinal or the final. He would come off the mat and just collapse. I mean, it'd be over. He was just dying for the next 5 minutes, and that's how much effort he puts into it. Maybe he has to make an adjustment. He's turning 30 this year or has just turned 30, and you can't always play the same way you did when you were 21, 22. So
Keenan, I'm going to visit Keenan next week. I was talking with him there. He said he's doing Euros. He's doing Who's Number One. He said he's going to start competing a lot more this year. He said he's got some new lapel tricks he's ready to bust out. He said he's got some new moves people don't know about. I think we're going to see, if that's true, we're going to see. When Keenan comes out with some new stuff, it's a little adjustment period. That's what first he beat Lowe the first time, then Lowe figured it out, beat him a bunch of times. Another guy here that could really disrupt things, Felipe Payne. I think Felipe Payne is going to be at heavyweight. He hasn't fought Kainan. Any of those four guys could win the world title. I say Kainan is top tier for sure. Then you got to put Payne down there. He won this weight 2 years ago, won medium heavy last year. Keenan and Lowe. Keenan was a lot closer with Lowe at the World's Absolute than he had been in previous years.
You have to think the trajectory of Lowe and Keenan are exchanging at this point.
I think Keenan gets him next time. And, this is a good weight at Euros. This is, if you pull up this weight for Euros, it's got Jackson Souza, Adam Wardzinski. It's got a whole bunch of who else we got? Don Bell, Fabio Kamikaze. Oh, Demetrius Souza, very underrated. That guy's been on the podium at Worlds 3 times.
Fabio Lano is also in there. It's Marigoli's main training partner down there.
Yeah, I think Keenan's got to be the favorite, but
the Sean Coates guy is also a dark horse. He's a European athlete who I think has won Europeans at the color belt level more than once. And then we have this Hagor Silva guy who's always present.
It's gonna be four wins to win that division, and you're gonna have to beat some. Keenan's gonna have to get through some tough guys. Adam, who he sort of blew through at Euros 2 years ago. Jackson Souza's always a tough matchup.
I hope him and Dom Bell ran into each other. You know, Dom's got that familiarity, not just for like the ex-teammate grudge thing, but Dom's got intimate knowledge of Keenan's game.
Yeah.
And so I'm curious to see how that plays out.
Well, Demetrius Souza, Adam obviously tapped low and won a bunch of big stuff in his career. Jackson and Demetrius Souza have been on the podium at a bunch of big tournaments. How he does against them at Euros will be a good test to see where Keenan's at, because he has a question mark going into the year, where he didn't compete that much last year. We all know he can beat all these guys, but this is going to be a good display at Euros to see where Keenan's at and what things are looking at like next season for him.
Absolutely. Heavyweight, lots of interesting, I guess, potential scenarios. We'll see what happens with Felipe Payne.
Oh, don't forget about Trator. Trator's on a roll right now. Vinicius Ferreira.
Does he does heavyweights, right?
He does heavy. He headbutted Leandro Lowe. Yeah, I don't know what he was thinking, but it sort of lost his cool and headbutted Leandro Lowe there. But he beat Kina. Trator beat Kina at the Brasileiro. He's the only guy at heavyweight that knocked him off this year.
Yeah, and had a couple of really impressive no-game matches as well. Silver medalist at ADCC. Can't sleep on Trator.
Heavyweight, Nachieli's division for female.
Yeah, let's move it right along here.
Yeah.
Black belt female.
Pound for pound, Nachieli, absolute champ. Nachieli should run this weight. No, there's nobody that's going to challenge her here.
We have the question mark of Claudia Duval. Where does she end up? As you mentioned earlier, she bounces around. She could very well find herself in the heavyweight division here, depending on she's very strategic. I feel like Claudia just looks at who signed up where, and picks her shot.
But she can't do that anymore really with ultra heavy, because you got some killers up there now, or super heavy. For women, you got Gabby Pisagna is going to be up there. Yara Soares is going to be up there. It's going to be super heavy. It's going to be tough.
I would like to see her face Gabby Pisagna. That'd be a cool match.
All right, you want to just move? We're there right now. Let's move to the women's super heavy. Fight to Win's got it's got the top 2 ranked girls at this weight fighting later this month. Fight to Win. What number is that?
I think it's 126.
January 24th in Los Angeles.
136. Sorry.
January 24th in Los Angeles. Correct?
Yes.
Gabby Pisagna and Gabby Garcia. Do not count out Gabby Pisagna in this match. Everybody's saying, it's Gabby Garcia. It's another easy match for her. Gabby's going to kill her. These people just don't follow jiu-jitsu that well. Nachieli just beat Gabby Garcia at Fight to Win rules. Gabby Pisagna has beat Nachieli, I think, 2 or 3 times in the AJP last year. Gabby Pisagna's been a prodigy at the lower belts. Did double Grand Slam at purple. Almost did it at brown belt. Was a match away. I would not be surprised. I think Gabby Pisagna, I think she's going to take this Fight to Win match. But who knows? Gabby Garcia won Pans last year. Maybe she comes back. Maybe she doesn't. But you got Gabby Pisagna. You got Yara Soares coming in. You probably got Jessica Flowers, some other girls. Should be a tough division.
As always. And moving on to the men's super heavyweight division, one of the most intriguing divisions of all. We have none other at the top of the division than Nicolas Marigali Alamau. Sorry, Ricardo, for my Portuguese there. That means German, though. And what can you say about Nicolas, man? He's fighting who's number 1. Any chance he's going to slide into Euros? What do you think?
No, he's not doing Euros. Who's number 1 is his next event. But the Euros, we got Gaugio's all swolled up, and he's in there. You got Felipe Andrews in there at Euros. Felipe Andrew, okay.
Man, actually, it's a super small division right now. There's
tough.
Only 6 guys in
Felipe
there.
Trovo, Felipe Andrew, Jared Lubinsky. Well, you got Marigali, obvious favorite here, right? He sort of ran through things at this weight last year. He won double gold at the Brasileiro. He, I don't know if he tapped his way through Worlds, but he basically did. If maybe he didn't tap one person, but
yeah, I think it was one match he didn't finish.
Yeah, he tapped Tanner, he tapped Panza, he tapped Ali. He tapped Felipe Andrew at the Brasileiro. He tapped Kinen at Brasileiro. He tapped basically like half of the pound-for-pound top 20 this last year.
You said earlier in the show, what was
79% submission rate in his career. So he's the heavy favorite here, for sure. His match, who's number 1, is ultra heavy against Victor Hugo. But you got Ali. Ali says we know he turned into Mega Ali for ADCC. He says he's going to be back at super heavy eventually for Worlds and all of that. Ali he beat up Mega Ali 2 years ago at Worlds 2018. Passed his guard. Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
Won the World Championship that year. Felipe Andrew is somebody. Felipe Andrew took it to Ali at Pans. Beat Ali 18-2 at Pans. Felipe Andrew also won the Euros, and he sort of fell off near the end. He didn't fight this weight at Worlds. But yeah,
there's always a question mark, too, the specter of Herber Santos. What is Herber Santos going to do? You never know. He's a wild card, but on his day, when he's on his A game, Herber is as savage as they come, one of the best in the world. Do we see the return of Herbert this year, of prime Herbert?
I think you're going to see him back in tournaments. Prime Herbert, I've sort of given up on that. I've been wanting to see it back because he's super exciting when it's happening, but I think those days are gone, man. It's just
he's young though. He's only 25, I think.
Yeah, but you get the thing at the World Pro, you get the thing at BJJ Stars, you get the thing at Spider. It's just happening like almost every time he competes. And technically, is he on that level with Marigali? After taking a couple years off where he was, who knows how his training was, his competing was really inconsistent. Is he still going to be able to beat Ali like Felipe Andrew? I don't know. It'd be great to see him on that level again. Herbert's a guy who's beat Gaval, beat Bernardo Faria, beat Hamulo, beat Perguisa. He's beat Hall of Famers. It'd be nice to see him back on that level, but I've sort of lost faith in it at this point.
Yeah, I think that's a safe bet, but like I said, you never know. Herbert's a wild card. Also in the super heavyweight division, we have Gutenberg Pereira, as well as James Popolo, Victor Toledo, Devontae.
Gutenberg's beat Ali a couple times. He's somebody to watch out for.
Gutenberg's kind of had an interesting year, too. He's ended up over in Europe to finish out.
I think he's moving back to Brazil.
2019, going back to Brazil.
Yeah. Going back to his roots.
We'll see how that affects his training. Panza only kind of pops up around the world. Sometimes Pans, I think, Pan championships. But you got to say the biggest story is Marigali and who can take him on.
Yeah, absolutely. I would like to see a guy who just did Spider. I'd like to see Hidalgo jump back in the mix in a super fight or something. If we could get like a Marigali Hidalgo match going, that's what we wanted at Spider. Didn't end up happening. But it'd be nice to get that this year in a super fight.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Hidalgo anywhere would be phenomenal.
Yeah.
Okay, we have a few more minutes left here.
Can you imagine Marigali's face going to a Hidalgo fight? That'd be next level. He'd be his head might explode.
It might, and then Hidalgo would just be smiling, chilling, hanging out. He's so laid back. Rounding out the show then, the last division, the final preview, Michael. This must be a relief for you. We have the men's black belt ultra heavyweight, of course, featuring the king himself, Marcus Buchecha Almeida. What is the status of the ultra heavies?
Well, you got Buchecha that only does Worlds, right? But he shows up and he wins it every year. We were hoping to get a rematch between him and Joao Gabriel at Worlds. A lot of people, this is sort of a result that's doesn't exist out there that people sort of forgot about. But Joao Gabriel beat Buchecha by an advantage at BJJ Stars in their last meeting.
That's right.
Buchecha ran through this division at Worlds this year. Tapped Evangelista in the final. I believe he tapped Max Jimenez in the semifinal. But, okay, you got Joao Gabriel coming back. Somebody to watch in this division is Victor Hugo. Victor Hugo, as we said, is fighting Marigali, who's number one. This is a guy who won Worlds at 6 times between purple and brown belt. 2 absolutes, 4 at the weights between those belts. And I think you're not going to see Joao Gabriel or Buchecha until later in the season, probably at Worlds. And I think Victor Hugo is going to run things until then. I don't think he's doing Euros, but I think there's a good shot he wins Pans and goes in with some steam. And Victor Hugo is a beast, man. He's very big. He's got a good guard. He's got great submissions. He's got a very high-level guard for an ultra-heavy that you don't really see that often. A lot of these guys, just like who gets on top is going to win. Like Buchecha gets on top of these guys and then just shreds their guards. Victor Hugo's guard is very good, very flexible. Almost plays a guard like a little guy, being like 6'6" and 250 pounds. So it'll be interesting to see him in there mixing it up with these guys.
Absolutely. Well, guys, that takes us through the 2020 gi season preview. But before we get carried away and sign off here, we want to remind you guys that the 2019 FloGrappling Awards, the winners will be announced tomorrow. That is January 9th at 12 p.m. CST. That's 1 p.m. Eastern. We're going to break down those 4 categories we have: best male athlete, best female athlete, best submission, and best match. Some great categories there, and we're excited to deliver those announcements. Stay tuned. We'll have Who's Number One next week, the same time.
Same time next week.
And that's just the last show before European Championships. We'll be on the road after that.
Yeah, next week we're going to get crazy. Next week the divisions will be official for Euro, so I think we'll see some more big names slide in the next few days, and we'll be able to talk more about Euros. We'll see. We'll be able to get into what's going to go on there. And also, Who's Number One the event? FloGrappling Tix, TIX.com if you're in California. KASAI coming up, 3 fight to wins. Big month for us here. It's going to be busy. I'm looking forward to it.
Thanks, guys. We'll see you next week on Who's Number One.